Hi guys, how are you? So good to be in your homes once again. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for telling friends, and for viewing. All the comments, I get to see them, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much for returning subscribers. You are amazing. And those that are watching for the first time, if you happen to like the video, please do subscribe. Remember, subscription is free and you'll be able to get notifications as and when the new videos drop in. Otherwise, today we are going to be making pratas, my style, and these are normally in a form of chapatis. Indians like to make them so much. You don't need a rolling pin or board. They are liquid pratas. You will love them because there is not a lot of hard work, easy to make, and if you have very few ingredients in the house, you'll be able to do this, because normally if you're going to make chapatis or anything that needs dough, it has to be enough flour. But here, if you find yourself with very few ingredients, even very little flour, you'll be amazed as to what you can make out of them. They look like chapatis, but no rolling pin, no board, and no hard work, no kneading. So join me as we make these pratas, and I hope you like them. To help me make those pratas, liquid pratas, I have grated carrots. I've got some spring onions, thinly sliced, and oatmeal, plus some garlic, grated, a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and this is chili mix that I'm going to put in there to put some kick to our liquid pratas. Now this is optional because you can go and put chili flakes if you have them. I've also got 2 cups of flour, some water, this is room temperature water, and a bowl, and some ladles that are going to be helping me to do this. As you can see, this is all that we need. There is not much that you have to use to get these pratas done. So I'll start off by putting the dry ingredients together, which is the 2 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour. For those of you who will be wondering what kind of flour that is, this is all-purpose flour. I'm going to add salt to it, plus the sugar, the chili, all the dry ingredients all at once. This is to show you guys how easy this is to make. This is all that I'm using, and I'm just going to add it in there. And then I'll add the garlic, blended, grated garlic, spring onions, and oatmeal all at once. As you can see, this is something you can do in about 5 minutes, and you have yourself some snack to have in the house. Now I'm going to mix these, get to know each other well. I'm also going to use a tablespoon of oil to add in here, and then water. So I'm just adding oil to my pratas. I've added a tablespoon of oil, and I'm just going to mix. Now the water that I'm using is room temperatured water, so don't be there worrying what kind of water have I used. It's room temperatured water. And once I'm done mixing, I'm going to add water. Now this one is added gradually. I'll first of all add half a cup. These are 3 cups of water, but I'm likely to just use 1.5 cup. Now I need to mix gradually, slowly, until I get that desired consistency. I don't want them too runny, and yet I also don't want them too thick. I just want it just right. So the whole work that you have to do is the mixing here. If you get it right, you'll be having pratas in no time. You just gradually add water until your mixture is smooth. And this should not take long making, guys, so there's no excuse as to why you don't add it to your menus. Say like you have unexpected guests and all you have in the house is flour and it's not enough for you to make chapatis or samosas. This is one of those that you can do without getting your hands dirty in no time. So I'm trying to get that right consistency. As you can see, it's getting there. And here is where we need to prepare our scooper, what we are going to use to measure our pratas. If you get a spoon that is big enough, the size that will be the size of your pratas, or if you want, you can just, depending on the servings. So if your servings are many, go more, double the ingredients, and then you'll be able to make your pratas. I've used 2 cups of flour, and I've used a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of sugar. I've also added some chili mix. I normally use that when I want those kicks on my beef or chicken. I've also put some spring onions, garlic powder, some grated carrots, and here we are, guys. Now this is fine. It's not runny, not too runny, but just the right consistency, as you can see. So it's time for me to make my pratas. As you have seen, it's very easy. So let's get frying. Now I'm going to use a tablespoon of oil. This is just to get my pan a bit oily, so it's not that pratas do not stick. These ones, guys, do not need to be deep fried. So you make sure your pan is well oiled so they don't burn. And the kind of heat I'm using is low heat. Why? Because if you put them on high heat, your pratas will burn when they are not yet ready. So you need to get all that balanced out before you try making them. So my heat is low, and at low heat I'm going to be cooking. Now I'm going to use a tablespoon to measure or scoop out my pratas. So you can go ahead and use anything really. I just want mine not so big, just to the size of my pan, the bottom of my pan, so that it's easy for me to make more. Now when you're pouring this, just center the midpoint of your pan and it will spread out by itself. You don't have to do the spreading. It will spread out itself and make good sized pratas. Now I'm going to use my spatula to flatten the pratas so that they come out a bit wider. You can go ahead and do the same. I used 4 scoops for one, but guys, the smell of garlic is something else. Once it touches the oil on fire, these ones will be smelling delicious. Even before you finish making, they will be lining up. to see what it is that you're about. Now remember, the heat is low heat. If it is a lot of heat, they will burn before they are ready. So watch out for the heat. It has to be right. Now I'm pressing just so the mid section of my pratas gets ready as well. And you don't take them off until you have that golden brown color. You don't want to serve colors that are not easily described. So go ahead and have them brown before you take them off. It's so easy to mistake them for chapatis when they are ready. So easy to mistake them for flatbread. But these are pratas, and they will love them. And as you have seen, they are so easy to make, and with so limited resources. You don't need to have a lot to make them. And as you can see, even the oil that you use to fry is very, very little. You don't need a lot. And if your oil is if your heat is low, they should be able to cook easily in and out and taste delicious. You keep on flipping until you see that desired color. Guys, these are so easy to make. Very soft, very few ingredients. You will love them. And for you to know they are ready to take off, you just see that golden brown color, and that will be a clear sign they are ready. They don't need a lot of oil, so in case you're oil cautious, these ones are the thing for you. They are not oily, they are not dense, so you will love them. You just keep on flipping until you see that even brown color. I want it on all sides, so I keep on flipping until I see the color. Now, because I did reduce my heat to low heat, I'm constantly flipping. Imagine if you had used high heat, you would be under a lot of pressure to ensure that everywhere is ready, and yet the heat is too much. So just reduce your heat. If you're using charcoal stove, don't forget to add some ash on there. If you're using gas, it's low heat. The cooker, it is very low heat. And there you will have your pratas in no time. I'm looking for that golden brown color, so I'm not going to take them off until that color is on both sides. So in case you've been wondering how the Indians do those pratas, there you have it. But this is my recipe, because when the Indians do it, they do not add carrots, they don't add spring onions, and you'd find there are other things they don't add. So this is how I do them. You're welcome to add them to your recipe, or even flip mine a bit if you find mine a bit boring, as long as you try making them at home. Now if you see that this color is okay, you go ahead and take off. When you put them on the plate, no one will know whether they are chapatis or not. But trust me, they take a shorter time, and I'll go for these anytime. Chapatis involve a lot of kneading, rolling out. These ones, you just mix, pour, and there you have it. So I'm going to take this one off and then put another one until all my mixture is ready. Now when you're starting to fry the very first time, you don't have to add oil. You can start off with just the mixture and then add oil later. This will speed up the browning and make it easier for you. The cook time will be halved if you start off without oil, because it will be quicker. And then you can add the oil later. And as you will see, I'm just using a tablespoon of oil, and that's enough for my paratha. And then you move it a bit, just so it does not burn or change so fast. Once you see the bubbles pulling through, then you can flip it. That will speed up the cooking time. Remember, the heat is low heat. If you use high heat, you'll be under a lot of pressure and your parathas will not get ready inside. So to avoid all that, it has to be low heat. And when you try these, guys, they are tasty. Because of the sugar that we used, the little bit of salt that we used, you should be able to get yourself some nice treats. And you won't believe I didn't have a lot of flour. As you can see, that is how they look. They just look like chapatis, but they are not. By the fact that in here is sugar, it makes it all different from what you've tasted before. So if you've not had them before, try them at home. And you will thank me later. These are distant relatives of chapatis. So you will thank me when you're done and you have them on your plate. And everyone is delighted by what you just put up on the table. Remember, at home it is always good to flip up on menus, because family members do tend to get used to the same old menu. So a little flip here and there will be good. On a party, say like you have a birthday party, you have evening visitors or unexpected visitors. These are quick ones that you can make and serve your guests. Now this one is also ready. Time to flip and confirm it's ready, then take it off. This is what I'm talking about. I like the brown, and so you make sure when you're pressing that also the edges are pressed so that they are also thoroughly cooked, because they tend to be thick, which makes them not to be ready. See how this one looks? It's like a chapati, guys, but it's not. And you tell the difference when you're eating them because of that little bit of sugar that we used. It changes everything. And remember, it's just a teaspoon. Now guys, here are our parathas. They are easy to fold, guys. They are soft. They look like chapatis, but they are not chapatis. Easy to bend, as you can see. It's just that they are really hot. Otherwise,
You can serve them with a dip, say like on my plate here. As you can see, just if I can show you, you see how they look? This is easy. Remember, I didn't use a board and pin. I just went on and poured, and there you have it. They fold and bend like chapatis, but they are not chapatis. They are Indian parathas. Now I've put as a dip. You can dip them in your favorite dips, either tomato sauce or any dip that you have that has chili in there, or you can dip in yogurt. Now these are the ones that I would use to dip mine. Go ahead, guys, and try this at home. You will thank me later. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for telling friends. Bye bye, and God bless.